Two monkeys in chains. Two diminutive monkeys, each bound by heavy iron chains, sit within a shallow, arched niche of weathered stone. Pieter Bruegel the Elder's Two Monkeys in Chains, painted in 1562, offers a vivid tableau of captivity. The monkeys are slumped, their bodies pressed against the cold floor, while the niche itself juts out from a larger, unseen wall. Behind them, through the stone arch, the faint suggestion of a city unfurls in hazy atmospheric tones, pale blues and ochres, softly blending into one another. The cityscape, though distant and indistinct, is bustling with the promise of life, its harbor dotted with ship masts and sails, a world of movement and opportunity tantalizingly close, yet utterly unreachable. This stark contrast between the confined foreground and the open vista beyond intensifies the emotional tension of the scene. Bruegel's use of light and shadow is subtle, the illumination gently caressing the monkeys' forms and highlighting the cold luster of the chains. Every detail, from the arching stonework to the delicate outline of the city, serves to heighten the viewer's contemplation of captivity, freedom, and the human condition. The painting's structure compels us to consider not just the literal plight of the monkeys, but also the broader metaphors of restraint and longing inherent in the human experience. The monkeys' expressions, a closer inspection of the monkeys' faces, reveals an astonishing level of emotional complexity. The monkey on the left turns its gaze outward, meeting the viewer's eyes with a look that is at once piercing and plaintive. Its wide, glistening eyes hold a depth of awareness rarely ascribed to animals in art of this period. There is a suggestion of curiosity, perhaps even accusation, in its direct stare. This monkey appears to search for understanding, its furrowed brow and parted lips frozen in a moment of silent communication. In contrast, the monkey on the right is a study in resignation. Hunched forward, head bowed, it averts its gaze entirely, its posture collapsing inward as though the weight of its predicament has driven it to despair. The detailed rendering of its fur, the gentle gradation of shadow across its limbs, and the subtle slackness in its face all speak to a profound sense of defeat. Bruegel's lifelike depiction blurs the boundary between human and animal emotion, inviting empathy and reflection. The monkey's psychological states are as much a part of their imprisonment as the chains themselves, underscoring the painting's meditation on the toll of captivity, not only on the body, but on the spirit. The chains and shackles, the thick iron chains that anchor the monkeys to the stone floor, are rendered with uncompromising realism. Each link is meticulously painted, capturing the cold hardness of metal and its resistance to light. The chains twist and coil across the ground, their inflexible geometry in stark contrast to the softness of the monkeys' bodies. This juxtaposition amplifies the sense of unnatural restraint imposed on the animals. In 16th century Europe, such imagery carried heavy symbolic weight. The chains could signify the literal conditions of imprisonment or slavery, which were very real aspects of the world Bruegel inhabited. At another level, the binding metal may allude to the chains of moral failing, societal limitation, or inner struggle. The permanence and inescapability of these shackles evoke a sense of hopelessness, making it clear that the monkey's predicament is not easily remedied. The artist's focus on the physical reality of the chains, how they catch the light, how they dig into the flesh, forces the viewer to confront the discomfort and suffering inherent in the scene. Through these details, Bruegel elevates a simple motif into a profound meditation on the many forms of bondage that define the human experience. The stone niche framing the scene. The stone niche in which the monkeys sit functions as both a physical and psychological enclosure. Its arch curves above them, rough and irregular, the texture achieved through swift, uneven brushstrokes that evoke the chill of quarried stone. The niche serves as a visual boundary, sharply separating the monkeys from the faintly glimpsed world beyond. It is both window and prison, inviting the viewer to look in, while simultaneously underscoring the isolation of its inhabitants. The architectural simplicity of the niche draws our focus inward, away from external distractions and toward the existential plight of the monkeys. The arch itself mirrors the curve of the monkeys' hunched backs, creating a visual echo that binds them even more tightly to their surroundings. This framing device is loaded with symbolic potential, representing the constraints of society, the limits imposed by fate, or the boundaries between different states of being. The stone's unyielding surface and the darkness within the niche contrast with the distant, softly lit cityscape, intensifying the sense of separation and longing. In this way, the setting becomes as much a character in the narrative as the monkeys themselves, shaping and defining their experience of captivity. Emerging beyond the confines of the niche, a delicate panorama of city and harbor stretches across the background. Bruegel renders this scene with a light touch. The outlines of buildings and ships are softly blurred, their forms barely distinguishable amid the atmospheric haze. The city seems to float on the horizon, suffused with pale sunlight, its colors cool and faint, suggesting tranquility and openness. Ships, some with sails unfurled, drift across the water, signifying movement, travel, and trade, the antithesis of the stasis imposed on the monkeys. This background serves as a visual metaphor for freedom, prosperity, and the myriad possibilities of the external world. The distant city's faintness only accentuates the immediacy of the monkey's plight, amplifying the gulf between the reality of captivity and the dream of liberation. Bruegel's choice to render the city in such restrained tones may also suggest the elusiveness of freedom, a world that exists only at the edge of awareness for those trapped within the stone niche. The interplay between the confined darkness of the foreground and the luminous expanse of the background is central to the painting's emotional and symbolic resonance, inviting viewers to reflect on what lies just beyond reach. The broken nutshells scattered at the feet of the chained monkeys are several broken nutshells, rendered with a precision that belies their apparent insignificance. Their cracked forms and jagged edges are meticulously detailed, suggesting that they have been recently consumed or shattered. The presence of these remnants introduces a potent symbol into the composition. Nutshells, small and fragile, are easily broken, serving as a metaphor for vulnerability and the ease with which freedom or innocence can be lost. Their placement on the cold stone floor, within the zone of confinement, underscores the monkeys' limited existence. Even their sustenance is circumscribed by the bounds of captivity. The broken shells may allude to squandered opportunities or the destructive consequences of constraint. In a broader sense, they echo the themes of loss and longing that permeate the painting. Bruegel's attention to such minute detail reveals his ability to charge everyday objects with profound significance, weaving them seamlessly into the narrative fabric of the scene. The shells are not merely detritus, but silent witnesses to the ongoing story of deprivation and hope. Symbolism of the monkeys. Monkeys in the art and literature of the Renaissance were often used as symbols of folly, sin, or the baser instincts of humanity. They were seen as creatures of mimicry, lacking reason and prone to vice, a convenient stand-in for unbridled human behavior. By depicting these animals in chains, Bruegel amplifies this traditional symbolism, transforming the monkeys into allegories for human beings enslaved by their passions or by the strictures of society. Their confinement suggests not only physical restraint, but also the psychological and moral limitations that define the human experience. As the monkeys sit in their stone prison, separated from the vibrant city by little more than an arch, they embody the consequences of yielding to folly or failing to transcend one's circumstances. Bruegel's characteristic use of animal allegory enables him to critique social and moral failings without direct accusation, inviting viewers to see themselves reflected, however uncomfortably, in the plight of the monkeys. The painting thus transcends its literal subject matter, offering a meditation on the universal struggle between freedom and constraint, nature and civilization, desire and discipline. Bruegel's technique and legacy. Pieter Bruegel the Elder's technical mastery is evident in every aspect of Two Monkeys in Chains. His brushwork is exquisitely controlled, capturing the luxuriant softness of fur, the cold solidity of stone, and the reflective gleam of iron with equal facility. The composition is carefully balanced, juxtaposing the oppressive foreground with the liberating expanse of the background. This interplay of space and light not only creates a powerful visual dynamic, but also reinforces the painting's thematic concerns. Bruegel's ability to fuse detailed observation with layered symbolism places this work among the most thoughtful of his oeuvre. Two Monkeys in Chains exemplifies his enduring interest in the human condition, its frailties, its aspirations, and its contradictions. The work invites endless interpretation as a critique of social order, an allegory of moral restraint, or a reflection on the nature of suffering. Its legacy endures in the way it continues to provoke reflection and empathy, demonstrating the power of art to illuminate the complexities of existence. Through this deceptively simple scene, Bruegel challenges us to confront questions of freedom, responsibility, and the choices that bind us, ensuring the painting's place as a touchstone for generations of viewers and artists alike.